So in this video, I want to talk about how to never get rejected. Actually, I don't want to talk about it because I think it's the wrong aim, right? I think the aim should be to be comfortable with rejection. But that being said, this video does pose an interesting opportunity to highlight two things that can make you a much better communicator. The first we call sensory acuity. Sense your senses, acuity, to be able to notice other people and what responses you're getting from them in the environment. It's called paying attention. The second thing comes from sales. And you don't have to use it in sales, you can use it anywhere, but it's especially important in sales and leadership, but it applies in your personal life as well, and that's called test closing. So in this video, I want you to get this idea that the body speaks first. So that if you, let's say you're in a situation where you don't necessarily want to put yourself out on the limb, you can actually find out where the other person is. Let's say it's a coffee date. If you want to ask that person out for coffee, you can find out before you ask whether or not they want to do it. Okay, by being able to pay attention to body language and by test closing. I filmed this initially with my friend Selena, and you'll see I asked her to think about somebody, a guy that she's interested in, and to think about a guy that she's not interested in, and then to imagine that same person giving her one of these quote-unquote test closes. But the idea here is for you really to pay attention just to this. The body speaks first. And that's what I want you to pay attention to here in this clip, is that you don't need to necessarily lay all your cards out on the table, because you should not really be that confused about how somebody feels in a particular situation. If you want to know how somebody feels about an idea, float the idea out, watch how their body responds to the idea. So, my friend John said that you and I should have coffee, and then see what happens. Notice what happens to their body. And if their body is a positive response, you say, and I think he's right, And if their body is a negative response, you go, but I know that we're not going to do that, or whatever, okay? Pay attention to the body. It speaks first. I want you to imagine now that person that you don't have any interest for, okay? Mm-hmm. And imagine that they're here, mm-hmm. and then they came up to you, mm-hmm. and they were like, some people would say that you and I should have coffee together. And then imagine them saying that. Perfect, right? Mm-hmm. So just from an observer position, that doesn't look like a big green light to me. Right, that kind of looks like, but like, how do I get out of this situation?
Right.
Okay.
Right.
So clear that one off.
Okay.
And then there's that person who gives you the butterflies.
Uh-huh.
Right, perfect. And that person's here, and they say, some people think that we should get coffee together or do whatever.
I think we should.
Right, 100%. And so, like, that, I'll play this back for you. Mm-hmm. But what's really cool is that before you even responded verbally, your body said yes first. And that's what's the great thing.
Yeah.
Is that you don't have to technically put yourself out on a ledge.
Right.
You can talk about it casually.